This is a follow-up video to a video I made yesterday where I stated that this might be a good way to prevent blocking off a foundation vent if you were going to pour some type of a patio or concrete deck instead of covering up the vents, which is what most people do. Actually, if they are going to pour a concrete foundation, covering the vents up is the most popular method. This is the second method here that I've seen used a lot. But an individual pointed out yesterday that if you do something like this and water goes in here, it's going to be trapped. And it's not going to have anywhere to go except into the foundation. And that's going to make things worse than better. So I would suggest putting some type of a drain pipe at the bottom of the notch or the pocket here, and then draining it out safely to the side of the deck. And of course, that's just going to require maybe a 2-inch pipe here. I don't recommend putting a small pipe in there. Don't use like a 1-inch drain. Make sure that you have something that's 1.5 inches or larger. And the reason why I'm saying that is you could end up with debris building up in these areas if it's not maintained. And the debris in a larger pipe is going to come out a little easier, I should say most of the time, than in a smaller one. Now let's go ahead and take a look at my other idea. And this is common. I see this used a lot in basement windows where you have a window that's below grade and it needs to have some type of a well around it. Usually it's made out of corrugated metal. But in this case here, you would simply just form around this, pour the concrete, pop the forms out, and then you'd end up with a slot that you could fill with gravel that could be used for water to drain down into the ground. Now, could this create problems? Yeah, if you're going to have a little bit of water, you live in an area where it doesn't rain very much, this might be okay. If you live in an area where it rains a lot, you're going to have to use some type of a drainage pipe or a different system. Now, I also mentioned putting some type of a protective barrier on the floor instead of having an open hole. And something like this, you could just purchase a pre-made grate. And these are drainage grates. You could purchase something like this that would fit into a notch, that would sit into some type of a notch that would be formed into the concrete floor. And you're going to need to be able to remove this grate. I wouldn't have something that's going to be there permanent because debris is going to fall in here and eventually it's going to create a big problem for the drainage area if it's not cleaned out. So here we can see the gravel. It's lower, again, at least 1.5 inches lower than the top of the foundation or the footing out here. And again, remember, these are only methods or only suggestions. I appreciate the individual pointing out the problem because that actually could have been a big problem.